Hello everybody, I'm back with another video for you today, and I wanted to take a look at Scoia'tael. Dana was on my mind, but I decided I was instead gonna give Filavandrel a go. Detlef, of course, not really being so strong in the meta means that engine decks are probably a little bit better. Maybe not a lot better, but probably a little bit better. Dana is one of those, but Filavandrel also is, so I decided to give it a go, and this is what I came up with. A little bit different to the kind of engine Scoia'tael decks I've played in the past. There are a couple more engines that you can play now. A few of those, being Treant Boar, you've got Sentries and Dryad Matrons, which work together well as engine cards. Cards that generate long-term value, effectively. And yeah, I wanted to see if, the deck worked in practice. In theory, engines could be quite powerful, including Filavandrel playing for all the carryover, getting those Dwarves and Sheldon big and strong, and playing all the other long-round cards that Scoia'tael has. But the question is, will it stand up to kind of Dana? Dana might be better just because you can play so many, engines at the same time. You can kind of flood the board with them, whereas with Filavandrel, you're kind of playing more for carryover and long-term value across the rounds, I suppose. But yeah, let's jump into the card choices. Pretty much it's very straightforward. It's a ton of long-term value cards and a few other ones in there to spice things up. The bronzes are pretty straightforward. We have Dragoons because they're decent most of the time, especially when you're playing Sentries for movement, and the Treant Boar, I should say, as well for a bit of movement synergy with the Dragoons. The Agitators with Sheldon are, of course, very, very good. Pretty much a staple in Scoia'tael at this point for a load of free carryover, very powerful finisher value, and that's, yeah, still pretty good here. We have Volunteers for the thinning, very necessary. Defenders for the package. With the Filavandrel buff, you're going to boost them every turn in hand, of course. Not every turn in hand, every turn after they've been boosted in the hand and on the board. We have this Matron Sentry combo, which I'm not really decided on. I don't think it's that great, but they are threats on the board that your opponent has to deal with. It does come down at a 4 for 5, the Dryad Matron, and same with the Sentry, so if they don't get dealt with, they get you value, and they will bait locks and removal otherwise, which is probably good when you're running a bunch of other cards that want to be locked and removed. Apart from them, we've got the hand buff with the Smugglers and the King of Beggars. We have a bit of long round value kind of with Cleaver, can kind of count that way. Gabor as well for the carryover and long round potential. Ogvist to go off in long rounds and to be protected by all the buffs and whatnot. Sursa to get a bit more hand buff synergy going. And another engine on the board. And you've got Ida for a bit of artifact removal, potentially a bit of buffing. It's just fine, whatever works with Defender pretty well. Melaine for some removal value. And Synthesis, just a solid dragon that you can buff up, make big, and then, have immune points and save points. Don't have, Ithlin in this deck. Was debating putting that in, it might be worth it for Cleaver or something, but I think this version's okay. Doesn't have as many engines as I was maybe running in the past, although the bronze engines kind of make up for that, so maybe not true. Either way, we'll see if we can go win some long rounds. Going to pass on 7 cards as per usual with Filavandrel and see what we can do. And opponent going to be a Hensel. Alright. Should be interesting. Of course, I was playing Hensel the other day. It was pretty fun, honestly. Maybe pretty strong as well. Let's get rid of a Dragoon, and the rest of the hand's pretty solid, honestly. We could maybe even drop a Matron. But I do like this hand. Then again, we don't really have any weak plays to make in this round, so that might be a downside. We could even potentially push a bit of tempo and, I'm a little bit scared of going to round 3 against this kind of a deck with Hensel. But that is a great Cleaver target, so let's lead off with it. It might be worth just slamming Filavandrel and trying to get big pressure this round since we're starting so strong with Cleaver. I wonder if we can do that, honestly, with Filavandrel. It might be worth trying, but you know what? Let's not do that. Maybe we can push this round, but just not, worry about that. We can go all the way down to 4 and then dry pass and get a full-on kind of, thing. But let's just play one of these and start getting some hand buffs. We can then choose to drop Sentry or maybe another one of those just to get some more carryover. We'll see how it goes. I am scared of Hensel, honestly, so I don't mind just pushing a little bit here with the Hawker. I'm going to see how it works if we don't just take a pass on the red coin like we might otherwise normally do. Yeah, we can maybe just play the lock on that. It scares me a little bit. And gonna try to get card advantage in some way if we can. That'd be pretty cool, if possible. Not sure it will be, but gonna be another ballista. We can deal with that. So we're kind of putting a lot of pressure on him, which is very nice for us, I think. We're kind of wanting to go down to maybe one more card and then take a pass, but hopefully we're able to win the round. Otherwise, it's a bit awkward. It looks like we might not be able to. I'm just going to go pretty much all in here, I think. We don't need a full Filavandrel. As long as we win this round, I think that's going to be really good for us if we're winning on even. Definitely not a bad thing. Okay, he does get that off, which is pretty mean. But defender's enough to actually get ahead here, so we'll go with that. Just going to push it! I don't know what I'm doing, but we're pushing it. I haven't really done this with Filavandrel before, but honestly, it looks like it's kind of working. We can boost a unit by 3. Guess we're going to do that. Try to make it backfire on them. They might have a way to interrupt it, but hopefully not. Got to have some self-damage or opponent boost, which isn't the most common thing in the world. Regis is gone, so it might not be possible for them, and then they're losing a bunch of points to this dragon. Don't have much carryover in hand though. We did use all of our engines really there, and didn't get too much from them. But Hensart ability being used, alright. They are gonna kill. They are gonna damage their own dude. They have to play another card though, so I don't think that's actually the worst result for us, honestly. Boost, you know, going in with Filavandrel, something the opponent didn't really expect, probably. Something I didn't even expect myself to do, but it's definitely an interesting approach. Oh, wait! Okay, well that was interesting. Okay, bit of a weird approach. I'm not sure if that's how we should be playing this deck, but kind of worked quite well, right? Let's jump into another game and see if we can win again. Alright, and we're going to be up against King Baran. Another red coin, which is of course good for us. I should say we should probably be passing on 7 cards. Normally you're going to want to do that if you can, but that game it just felt right to push. I don't know why. I guess Hensart's a bit scary later on, so yeah, right. We have Volunteers, we have Agitator, which are both great to, you know, get rid of in round 1. Dragoon we can get rid of, and maybe a Sentry or a Matron. Kind of not a huge fan of these engines. They're kind of a bit filler, but yeah, we can maybe even keep, so we don't brick on Volunteers. Sounds good to me. Playing the Agitator isn't that good though. We're gonna have to throw it onto Gabor, which, you know, it is whatever. We'll start with a Sentry to maybe tank some removal, because we don't want our Agitator to die, otherwise we won't get, you know, Volunteer value. Probably they'll deal with it anyway, I guess. And we can maybe just play the Volunteers just vanilla as a 3-point card. See how that works. We'll buff the Gabor. Not the best play, because usually you want to play this as sort of a carryover move, but we'll probably find those, you know, points at some stage. They're going with a lot of tempo here. Pretty threatening. I think getting a Volunteer out is probably fine now. Not going to be able to thin because they're going to deny that. Pretty gitty, but it's just Bran, isn't it? That's what they do. Let's play Volunteers and then we'll take a pass if they don't give us the round, which they do. I love it when they do that. That's a pretty good feeling. So we can start with Dryad Matron and then I think take it with Melaine and maybe Ida or something like that. Now we're going to have basically pretty good, you know, long-term value weight. Yeah, we're going to have to go with a pretty big play here. We're pretty far behind in points, so going to have to be this. We could drop Gabor, and in fact Gabor's probably a better... I mean, it's not much of a play really, is it? It's not very good in round 3 though, so we'll play it. But okay, we managed to win round 1. Very nice. That gives us an easy pass into round 3, where we're going to have full value from our leader and our engines. And hopefully it'll be enough to kind of overcome Baran. They do have a scary amount of stuff, but we'll see how it goes. Hawker Smuggler and the Beggars are fine. I guess we can get rid of Matron. Cleaver's a decent one. We'll keep this for now. Pass to round 3 to get our cards, otherwise we'd be, of course, giving up card advantage, which wouldn't be a great idea. And the points don't really matter, but I think that's just the weaker of the cards we could have played. We could have played Ida, but, you know, she's probably... She might be worse than Gabo in round 3, I suppose, but whatever. Okay, a couple of players from the opponent. We are going to have to deal with a lot of nasty stuff, but we've kind of denied their setup, so hopefully they'll brick in some way or have difficulties, whatever. Alright, Dragoon going to get rid of that, and then Sentry, they're kind of both pretty crappy. Volunteers? Not what I want to see. Not what I want to see when I've got that dead in the deck. There were better options here, but... You know what? That's just life sometimes, that's whatever. So, let's boost everything with Filavandrel, of course. We could just go with the straight cleaver to get a crap ton of value. I kind of like it, honestly. I do kind of like it. Then again, I would also like to steal the count with Ida and Synthesis. That might be our ticket to victory in this game. That being said, let's maybe start with the Smuggler instead. Could have gone with the Boar as well, I guess, but I'd rather that doesn't die. And we're getting buffs onto the Dragon, which is really good. So, yeah, we want to get the Coral and these other kind of damaging effects before playing the Dragon, because then it will be immune to actual damage and we can maybe steal Coldwell from them and just win from that. Should be a pretty good route to victory in this game if we're able to make it happen. So it's probably worth just killing the Coral, I suppose, if we we don't care about hitting Coldwell. Snitches get stitches, and we're going to try to take that boy. I think it's going to work out, hopefully. It's really hard for them to, you know, deal with the Dragon. They're going to have to rely on this big unit and maybe resetting it or buffing it or whatever, but it's not a very reliable way to make that work. We can probably damage with Sheldon or Treant, and hopefully, yeah, Coldwell will be their downfall, probably. Otherwise, we might be hard-pressed for points here, honestly. Bran is such a scary leader. They just have so much damage and burst and whatever. Just everything, really. But okay, King of Beggars still alive, so that's nice. We'll boost him up. Keep that engine going. I'd love it to hit my Sheldon here. That would be very useful. I'm going to be an Olaf. You don't see that one too often. We'll play Treant Boar as something to start pinging down Yutta. And we can go with the Defender after that. Okay, Canute, pretty damn effective. Another 12-point dude that we have to kind of knock down now to make sure the Coldwell comes to our side. I think it's time for Defender. We'll see how this goes. I think it's going to be damn close. They do have a lot of points, kind of regardless of, you know, whether Coldwell joins our team or not, so that's a bit troubling. So I guess we can play Dragon-y Boy now, or we can save it. Maybe saving it's correct. We're not going to get any more value on Sheldon, right? So I think hitting this down is probably worth doing. I'm still getting those buffs on the Defender. I imagine it'll die to Geralt or whatever. That is a Gimpy, not too scary. So let's go with the Dragon now. We need to start trying to take the Coldwell, I suppose, and then we'll be able to Ocvis down everything, hopefully. There is a Gregoire though, and that is a unit that potentially steals Coldwell back, which is not ideal. Ocvis comes down. Can we have that Coldwell, please? I guess it's going to come down to Coldwell and whether he bounces right. Oh, he bounces. Will he bounce again? I have more big units than him. Please don't bounce. No! That's unfortunate. Losing on a 50-50. What can you do? Oh well. Pretty close game. I think Bran is a scary one though. Way more points than Filavandrel. Honestly, Filavandrel, not sure how strong. Might be a bit of a weak one to be honest, but still pretty fun. And of course we'll be experimenting more with it as the meta develops and whatnot. Either way, thanks a lot for watching, guys. My forays into Squirtle haven't been too successful, but not really my faction to be honest. Either way, do subscribe if you want more videos. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.